It's happening. You know, you guys, I'm really good at improv. That's what the people say about me. Matt Palmer is back in action. Very famous podcaster.
I don't think I'd say that, but I'm so happy to be here. I'm super excited.
Well, excuse me, can you tell people about your new accolade on YouTube? I'd like to know.
Oh my gosh. Well, I am a part of the podcasting and YouTubing duo, Two Gay Mats, and we did just reach 100,000 subscribers, and we're officially getting that plaque from YouTube because we weren't sure it was going to come. There were some reasons. I was like,
please, we knew it was going to come.
You know, in the fine print, YouTube's like, we send these out at our discretion. Like, it may not happen for you for XYZ reason, but we did get the notification on Friday, so it's on the way. They're currently making me one of those silver plaques, and I've got to figure out where in my home I'm going to put it up.
Matt Palmer and I have been friends for many years. We both went to NYU. We did not know each other there, but I think we both have NYU. I always get these confused. Ethos? You know, the ethos and the pathos and the oses. What I'm going to say is that when I went there, somebody asked me this the other day. They said, how was your NYU experience?
Yeah.
And because they said they knew people who had mixed experiences. And I said, I loved every second of it. And academically, I felt challenged, but the people that I met there were like me.
Yeah.
You want that motherfucking plaque.
I do.
And it's not
do.
it's not because your self-worth is anyway based on the plaque. It's that you've decided you've earned it.
Oh, decided I've earned it. I know, like, it just, there was no doubt in my mind that we earned it, we deserve it, and I just want the physical representation of, like, yeah, we fucking did it. At least to this point, who knows if anyone will ever subscribe again, but that was just a nice moment. We were, you know, I was at my computer, Matt Steele was in Vegas looking on his phone, and we crossed that threshold, and it was a big accomplishment. Our YouTube channel has been around for, I believe, 13 years now, so happy to be like, look, people have seen this.
Well, I mean, that's the thing is that, and that's what I mean is that you guys have earned it, and Matt Steele, another NYUer, is like us, and it's not that it's all about the constant chase of validation or these certifications. It's more about like, about NYUers is that, you know, we were talking about Susan, our friend Susan a minute ago, our friends that we graduated with. It's like, excuse me, I belong here. And not because I'm entitled, but because I've done the work. And I think that's why so many of us chose to go to that school, and why when I get asked about my experience there, I was like, I met people who were as ambitious and slightly delusional as me.
That's a part of it. I feel like you're definitely going to find some delusion in those NYU hallways. Tisch School for the Arts
But if you put the work, listen, I was in Steinhardt. I'm very humble Steinharter. But if you put the work behind it,
yes.
And you know what, I will say a lot of those Tischers, you know, can have a lot of shit talked about, but you guys did a lot of, like, it was really hard to get into Tisch.
It was not easy, yes. No, I mean, in fairness, I wasn't in the acting wing, which is, like, Tisch is most famously known
But excuse me, the Clyde Davis School of Recorded Music, that was very competitive, and that's why I was friends with half of your program. Because I was like, I got to NYU and I was like, the cool kids are the ones in Clive Davis School of Recorded Music. I wasn't, but you guys were.
There were 24 kids in each class while I was there. I don't know if the class sizes have gotten bigger. By class, I mean like the whole grade of Clive Davis. So, yeah, there was a very funny time when I was applying for schools, and I was just like, oh no, I'm going to the Clive Davis department. Like, I had not gotten in, but I just like knew. And so I had applied early decision for NYU in the Clive Davis department and had not applied to any other schools at that point. And my college, the college admissions person from my high school was like, called my mom and was like, you know, Matt's not applied to any other schools. So she freaked out. I had to do the Common App, all this stuff. And then like a week later, I got my acceptance in the mail.
Do you know that I had the same experience?
Did you really? Were you early decision?
Early decision. I didn't apply to a single other school, and my guidance counselor said to me, everyone can handle one letdown. And I was like, Miss Carrick, you can, well, I wasn't going to say the first joke my comedian brain said, but I was like, Miss Carrick, excuse you. And So this is what happened, and this is a really interesting thing that's carried with me through correspondence since. I got a package in the mail.
Okay.
You probably got the exact same package.
I'm sure I did.
A year before, because
All right. All right.
I'm so young, and Matt Palmer's older than me. But I got home from high school. I want to say December 15th. I almost might know the date. I won't tell you the year. But the package is there. And I remember looking at my dad and being like, how many ways do they have to say no? Like, why would they send me a box? No, well, essentially, you're understanding that the decision is in front of you. And subsequently, I've had a lot of anxiety about opening. Recently, since the specials come out, had a lot of anxiety opening really important emails because I'm like,
what does this mean?
And like, I have this weird thing where I'm like, I need to be in the right headspace, or like, I need to be relaxed, or it needs to be the end of the day, or whatever. And I'm like, but when I was in junior year of high school, I was like, I looked at the package and I was like, how many ways do they have to say no to me?
Right.
This is a very large package, and it turned out to be an acceptance package. When you got your acceptance package, were you surprised, or were you like, no, that tracks?
I was so, that tracks. I don't even remember getting it. I have no...
That's so Matt Palmer, you guys.
I remember applying. I remember making the CD, because it was back in the days where there were these things called CDs, and I had to put 5 minutes of my music, and I put snippets of my songs.
Your application was different because it was this Clive Davis school.
Yes.
Right.
So I remember what songs I put on there. I remember the kind of music I put. I do not recall getting the acceptance letter. I just remember being like, okay, of course, that's where I'm going. Thanks. See you there.
You and I have this in common, which is oh no, that's what I'm doing. Where do you think that comes from for you?
I don't know. I mean, much like we were saying about other NYUers, I feel like maybe it's partial delusion, but to me it's like delusion plus work ethic and a sprinkle of talent equals success, darling.
I always remember Tina Fey accepting her first Emmy and saying, I want to thank my parents who gave me confidence that was disproportionate to my looks and ability. And Tina Fey, notoriously very self-deprecating, but I was like, no, my mother created this monster in me. I'm not saying, but as we get older, I do feel more deserving of it. But at the time, I guess I just had good enough grades and had a good enough essay.
There you go.
When you're applying for schools, it's a very weird thing. And this was a different time. This was a few years ago. And I really wanted to lead off today with a topic that is relevant to our high school applying for college selves.
Okay, I'm excited. What could it be?
Which is that Justin Timberlake's DUI video has come out.
I received texts about this, and I saw a few days ago that his team was trying to get them, stop them from coming out.
Yeah.
I've not watched the videos. How bad are we
I've watched it. Okay, so here's the scoop.
Okay.
Really, I feel like I'm a really interesting person to talk about this. I'm actually going to write this down in the notes. I'm a really interesting person.
Okay, that should be the title of the episode. I'm a really interesting. And why? Because you have complicated feelings about Justin. You're more pro Justin. Why do you think you're
Well, thank you, Matt Palmer, for knowing me. I mean, guys, this is why it's fun to podcast with people who've known you for a while. Because Matt Palmer does understand there's a complication, right? Because here's the scoop about Justin Timberlake is for people our age, he was the guy.
He was.
For a while.
Yes.
And by a while, I mean when we were in high school and college, which is the while.
Yeah.
Justin was my sexual awakening. Let's talk about it. The 2003 Herb Ritts Rolling Stone cover. He's pulling his bathing suit shorts down on the beach in what is the warmest of lighting and Mariah would be like, why didn't I get that lighting?
Herb Ritts must have been gay, yes?
Oh.
We need to
Well, if I were Valerie Cherish from the comeback, I'd say, well, dear, died of AIDS.
Well, that doesn't mean, but I assume...
Well, it doesn't mean. That's all
My
right.
all, you see the Justin Timberlake
Well,
cover, you see what
other
he
people
does.
died. That's all right.
He did incredible work with my all, and with that Rolling Stone cover, which was also a sexual awakening for me as well.
Okay, thank you. And yes, it was a. I remarked on how long I looked at it.
That was when I texted a AAM'd a friend. You know, I'm not gay, but I do like men's chests.
This is the thing, you guys. Matt Palmer was much further ahead of his sexual awakening than I was. In so many ways. I mean, you've always been more confident with gay than I've been, and to the point where in 2003 you were saying such a thing.
I mean, I did say I wasn't gay
saying such a
in
thing.
the sentence, but it was, you know.
Still, you were inching. And by inching. So Justin Timberlake, Justin Timberlake, coolest guy when we're in high school. I mean, I did always take Usher's side because I always said Usher's like my older brother in my head, and Justin's like the upperclassman I wanted to like take advantage of me. But that's not weird. So Justin was so, but then here's what happened is that he's so sexy and it just felt like for so many years Justin got away with everything. Like he could get away with flops. You know what I mean? Like he would, it would be like all these other A-listers would like enlist him to write singles for them and they wouldn't do well and they'd be stupid and dumb but then I'm giving sexy back. And it was always like, Justin's got this. And like at a certain point, it was like, this is like weird that like Justin gets a free pass for everything, including selling Britney Spears out for making her the victim when he was the one that cheated, and also selling Janet Jackson out when he was the one that ripped her top off. And so the gays especially, for a long time, we've been like, yo, like Justin's not it because the way in which he's treated the women that we love is not okay, and he's just had a free pass for a while. And then the music deteriorated, and look, it is not easy to be a sex symbol when you're a teenager and then get older.
For sure.
That is not, but there was also kind of always a reality that where Justin Timberlake wasn't going to age well, that I think we kind of knew about. But also, it's made me weirdly more sympathetic to him because he didn't think this was going to happen at all. Because he was living in the euphoria, as Mariah would say, living in the splendor, darling. Living in the splendor of being a teen idol. And you and I were talking about this before we went on the podcast, but I was like, as frustrating as it has been for me to like, I'm still fucking pushing for my like fucking cred. I would have really hated being a teen age success. So Justin Timberlake, we all know he gets a DUI last year in the Hamptons. And everyone had a good laugh about the quotation
this
about
is gonna ruin the tour.
This is going to ruin the tour.
Of course.
And it was all about how the Gen Z police officer didn't know who he was, and Justin was trying to be a star about it. And this would have been the latest of entitled encounters that he's had. I watched the tape earlier today, and Justin, it's important to know, was legally suing to prevent its release because he said that it would be bad for his career. Justin, I have to say about Justin, he's coming from a place of old school celebrity, which is, it's all supposed to be clean and pretty, and we can't show them those things. Justin is, as much as he was one of the younger celebrities as we grew up, old school Hollywood. In the way that he approaches things. In the way that, this is going to ruin the tour, he thought would stop him from being arrested.
Do you hear him saying that in the video?
No. Couple of things. Couple of things. The video does not make Justin Timberlake look as though everybody wanted him to look. Justin Timberlake is actually kind of humanized in the police video.
Oh, interesting.
Yes. And I will say this with that's why I wanted to preface it with all of the complications of my relationship with him, is that I'm like, yes, I did want him to take advantage of me when I was a teenager, but also he was a douchebag for decades. You know, we were all made to think he was like, excuse me, I'm on tour, let me off. He's actually like pretty humble, and he's he has a man who is 15 years younger than him arresting him, and he's like, okay, and he's asking polite questions, and he is probably not good to drive, but he thinks he's good to drive, which, by the way, don't tell me you don't know anybody who's ever been in that position. I'm not saying we do not endorse driving when you shouldn't, but and you shouldn't, but he wasn't like belligerent or cocky. He was like, okay, let me know what the rules are. Let me do what we need to do. And then so he's asked to perform sobriety tests, and doesn't do great.
Okay.
He doesn't fall over himself, but he doesn't pass them. And then he's like, okay. And then the cop says, hey, you know, we're based on those results, we're gonna take you down to the station. And Justin goes, okay, but like, by the way, these are like really hard. Like, oh, I have to say, it wasn't giving alcoholic to me. And by the way, I'm from Boston, so who knows what alcoholic is? But to me, what it was giving was, it was kind of human, because he was like, this is the thing, is that everybody thought Justin Timberlake was like, I'm a Justin Timberlake star, you can't arrest me. He wasn't doing that at all. He's literally going, okay, can I try again? Like, he's really just kind of being a nice guy. And so what I will say about the video is that everybody wanted to go in like sharks smelling blood in the water, being like, here's where he pulls the star card. And ultimately, it's a 40-something-year-old man who should not have been drinking, who drove, and his friend pulled the star. So he has this lady friend who's like trying to defuse the situation.
Not just the deal?
No, it's no. It's one of the people he was hanging out with who was like in a separate car, and she like goes up to the cops, and she's like, "Okay, I'm sure there's something we can do about this. He's just coming. We're all just going home together. We're all just having a fun time." And the cops are like, "No, I'm pretty sure he's driving under the influence." And she's like, "Yeah, but you love Bye Bye Bye." And
did she say that really?
She did.
Oh no.
And that was unfortunate for him because he didn't ask for that.
Yeah.
But that woman, when you watch the clip, you're not gonna hate her. Like, she's not being like, because he's done Bye Bye Bye, you have to release him. She's like, but bye bye. Like, it's literally like, Matt, if you and I were out and something bad happened, like, it's the way in which you would be like, but come on, isn't he lovable? It's interesting because it isn't the cop tape that I think people were expecting out of this, which, again, coming out of like decades of me being mad at Justin for the way he treated Brittany, mad at Justin for the way he treated Janet. I watched Justin in this video and I was like, he actually seemed humbled and not super psyched about his own behavior and trying to do his best. And like, I don't know. Like, I know people who have gotten arrested for DUIs who have been, like, way bigger assholes. And I'm not saying that's, like, the gold standard, but, like, the way that Justin Timberlake carries himself, he's drunk, but he's not a dick. And I think that's going to surprise people.
I wonder a few things. Why? Well, of course, the original question for anyone who gets a DUI, including whom I love, Britney Spears. When you are that rich and that famous, why can you not call an Uber? Why can you not call a Lyft? Like, I get it. It just is. You're putting not only your own life in your hands, but everyone else on the road.
Of course.
That goes without saying. But
no, there's no excuse for a DUI.
Bad. But also, if he doesn't come across as poorly as it sounds like he came across in that quote, I wonder why he was going through all this trouble trying to make sure these videos never saw the light of day.
Well, so that was a big part of this, was that he was suing Sag Harbor in the Hamptons to make sure that they didn't put it out, because he said, But he is one of those who he thinks of the old school days of Hollywood of like they can't possibly see. I think it's quite possible that these videos make him look better. Because this is somebody who you like could be your boyfriend or brother or uncle or whatever who's like, I was just trying to get to the like, because he's like, we're literally just going from the restaurant to my friend's home. Like he's like, we're not trying to be crazy, and again he fails the sobriety test. There's no drinking and driving, but like I was not expecting to be like, oh, Justin wasn't douchey at all. Like I was expecting him to be like throwing the Justin Timberlake card and all these things, and he was like every time a direction was thrown at him that was like very firm by these like, you know, police officers who were 15 years younger than him, he was like, okay. So, I don't know. My feelings about Justin Timberlake continue to remain in flux. What I wanted to ask you about Matt Palmer is that a few months ago, Mariah Carey's
Queen of the Music,
Queen of Everything, Glitter had been removed from streaming, and I texted you very quickly about it, and I said, squeeze us, where's Glitter? And I think you were like, there must be some 25th anniversary.
Yeah.
Because that's what's coming up in September.
It is coming up in September, but
why do we have to take it off?
That's my question. I still understand why we need to be taking it off, why it needs to be off streaming for this amount of time, and we're not even close to September. What is happening? I don't understand it. I also wonder because I believe the latest version of Glitter that was released on these streaming services is from the like Mariah label. And I'm like, okay, is someone not really re-upping the subscription? Like, what's really happening there?
Well, it seems like it was intentional based on like building up hype for this. There's going to be a 25th anniversary edition release.
Right, but they didn't take Rainbow down. They didn't
I know.
I don't understand.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. I miss Glitter. I mean, I still have the downloaded files. If I wanted to listen to it, I could figure out a way to do it.
I have it on my phone as well.
So it's going to be fine for me, but I do think it was a weird choice. Like, I think Glitter should be made available worldwide. Whether or not
at all times.
At all times. Like, yes, we're going to get, I hope, new songs.
This was always my worry about streaming, is that I need things to always be available. And of course, Matt Palmer was like, I can show you how to put things in your Spotify if you need to. And I thank you for that. Yeah. But it's just like, it really bugs me. And it's true about TV shows too. It's true about like anything you're streaming. It's dependent on who has the contract for it. And it's only going to get weirder as this era continues for TV and music and movies and all that stuff. It's like, and that's why they're saying that in the way that vinyl has come back, DVDs have come back. Have you heard that?
I mean, I've definitely heard that physical media across the board is having an uptick because people don't trust the streaming services not to just...
You can't!
Take the shit down whenever they feel like it, whenever they want to make it look like they have a loss for the year, they want a little tax break, they'll just take an entire series off. You know, they could take your favorite show off streaming without telling you. And like, it's just a tough world to be in, knowing that nothing that you consume that gives you comfort is destined to be there the next day. No, there's no promises of that.
No, and there can't. Yeah, and it's really I don't like that, and that was something that came into negotiations for my special, where I was like, well, what if negotiations?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, what if? Where does the special go if this and this and this happens? Yeah. And I think that's a really weird. As much as it's so nice that you don't need to buy a physical copy of something to experience it, it also it's as much as it enhances accessibility, it limits accessibility.
Agreed.
Now, what do you make about, we talked about this a little earlier, but Mariah's song Obsessed is trending again. You know, it was her lead single from her 2009 album, Memoirs of an Imperfect Angel. Yeah. It was a top 10 hit on the Hot 100. It lingered for a long time. It was not one of those like peaks early and then goes away. It was a big hit for a big long time. But you and I were talking about Mariah was saying, she thought it should have been bigger when it happened. But unlike songs of hers that charted higher, it has had longer staying power. And I can't say Obsessed has had like even in 2019, like
Yeah.
it's had at least 3 to 5 different eras of going viral.
It's true.
What do you think is going on with that?
I mean, I think the song is excellent. Like, I can think of a song of Mariah's that like every single section of the song is a hook. I would say "Obsessed" is like #1 on that chart for me.
At the time,
it took me a minute. It's because
Yeah.
I was more used to a "Touch My Body"-esque sound, and like it was a harder, you know.
It was a progressive
It was.
sounding move, and
It was.
as she says, it was ahead of its time.
ahead of its time. But I also think just the reference of "Why are you so obsessed with me?" The line, it's just like it is an evergreen feeling. Like every generation in the future is going to have a moment where they feel like hated on and like obsessed with by some, you know, evil rapper or somebody else. And I feel like the song will speak to that feeling of, oh my God, all of my haters are coming after me. Why are you so obsessed? Like, it just feels like something that no matter the generation, that feeling's going to come up. And there aren't a lot of songs that speak to it, you know?
Something that occurred to me today that I was thinking about was that the way, like, when her career first started, a lot of people like they don't say this anymore, but they used to. They would say, "Oh, everyone likes early Mariah better."
Right.
She was instructed to have no personality.
Exactly.
And there was an incredible amount of personality in her lyrics and her vocals, but like her early 90s stuff is not as interesting to me because I like her like wild personality. I like her like completely like her weird personality.
Right.
And what Obsessed did was she took a movie, Mean Girls, that she was obsessed with,
Yes.
take the key line out of it, and then use it to address a very widely covered story of one of the biggest rappers harassing her.
Yeah.
And what's actually the word that we would call it? Not harassing, like actually like sexual, like very toxic.
Yeah,
very toxic.
Very toxic.
The way in which this man was speaking about her in media, and in a way at the like if this had happened in current times, everyone would have been like mainstream media would have been like, he's bullying this woman.
Yeah.
At the time, it was like, oh, Eminem seems to have had a past with Mariah Carey.
Right.
And Mariah Carey was like, oh, I'm going to come off of a bunch of hits and say, but I was like, why are you so obsessed?
What an opener.
Oh. And Dream, who was at the top of his game at that time, gave her the perfect track to do that.
100%.
And I remember that summer, I was in the middle of college. I just remember thinking, this is a summer banger. It was.
Yeah.
It really was.
Yeah.
And it was modern, and it was current, and it was grungy, and I love that she was playing with T-Pain vocal,
very much so. Some auto-tuning.
Auto-tuning in a way that was like, we weren't pretending like, oh, Mariah can't hit that note. It's more like she was playing.
It was a stylistic choice.
Yes. And I just remember thinking in the heat of the summer, I was like, it was such a hot song.
Yes.
And to hear it come back, like, the kids must just feel like, the message is eternal.
It is.
Yeah.
Eternal. It absolutely is.
But they relate to it, I think.
Which I think, we all have at one point or another, because it's a part of life that you're going to have people who have negative shit to say about you and seem to not be able to let it go. And
But that means they probably kind of like you.
Probably.
Have you ever had anybody who's had a crush on you who bullied you?
Not that I know of. I mean, I feel like I've definitely had people in my life.
I think we probably have, and we didn't know that they liked us.
Maybe that's what it was. Like, I feel like there would definitely be people in my life who would, make a comment or two. But I assumed was a straight guy, But so I didn't think it was ever a love profession. Like, oh, I'm gonna pull the pigtails.
Well, for me, it's always the straight guy that's always trying to, like, that's the biggest problem.
I've heard that.
So what's funny is that his son Rocky does these streams. I don't know what they're about, but he streams, and that's what the kids do.
Bitch, I assume? Is that where he's
I
streaming?
think yes, and
Okay.
you knew more about that than I do. But what's so funny is that it had been covered a few like months ago or whatever that like, oh, Mariah crashed his stream and he was so embarrassed. And then this past week she crashed his stream again.
I love it.
And I was like, oh, he asked her to
Oh,
do
you
it.
believe?
Oh, no, because she's gotta. Do you think she like wants anything to do with the stream?
I know.
What happened was she comes in. Oh, hi! I love all of Rocky's followers. Hi, it's me. And then he's like, Mom, get up, get up, get up. And she's like, oh, okay, I'll get out. I just wanted to say hi to everybody. Mom, get up, get up, get up. And then as she's getting out, he goes, Mom, I love you. Mom, I love you so much. You're the nicest. You're the coolest. And I was like, oh, he asked her. He was like, I will get 14,000 million subscribers if you just spend 7 seconds in this room.
Hey.
And she lets herself go in and go, you can tell me to get out for 30 seconds. I love that about her relationship with her kids.
It's cute. It's like,
don't you think it's so healthy for her?
it's super healthy, and like I feel like they seem like they're just normal, as well adjusted as a kid of a megastar could
and
be.
they love her.
Yeah, they do.
That's the thing that, like, I just feel like they love her. Like, how about when she was at the Olympics and they stayed in LA and, like, they stay back in LA, but they posted their stories, like
oh,
she,
I didn't know that happened. You know, I don't
like,
follow them. But
I know, because I
don't.
do follow the kids because I know how much it must mean to her to have her kids root for. Like,
It is beautiful.
because of her complicated relationships with her siblings and her parents. Like,
Yeah.
she needs people in her family to like just like be to at the very least be like, you did good.
Yes. No, it's really very beautiful to see, because I feel like there's a time growing up where you're like, is Mariah going to have kids? Like, what's that going to look like? What's that going to be like? She always likes to very morbidly, I feel like, say, oh, I thought, I wouldn't be here. I thought I would have died young, essentially, is what Mariah has said in certain interviews, which always freaks me out. But I feel like it was probably a big question for her, too. She was always so in love with her career. Like, her career was everything. So when would she have been able to make time to be a mom? But, like, the fact that she did, and she didn't just, like, do it and, like, half-heartedly do it. Like, those kids are with her all the time. She is an active and involved parent,
know,
and they
it's
love her. It's adorable.
Well, she came up in a time where, like, yes, you could imagine, like, she couldn't see past an era where her career would be vibrant,
Yeah.
and so she thought, oh, after a certain age, I won't be here anymore. The way she is with those kids, what warms my heart is like what she gets out of it. Like,
Yeah.
I can tell that, like, she's like, this, I actually am getting enough out of it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, and that, like, the relevancy of being a pop star or
Right.
whatever it is, like, these kids are what's so sweet about what we saw from Rocky on the live stream is that, like, he was like, I love you, Mom, I love you, I love you, I love you. Like, he said it so many times that I'm like, oh my God, she raised a sweet boy. Like, because Nick Cannon's kid, I was like, I don't know. I was like, I don't know how many kids, Nick Cannon's got a lot of kids.
He looks just like Nick every once in a while. Little boy.
I know, but he looks like her too.
He does look like her too, but sometimes there's something about the face. I'm like, that is Nick's face. I don't know.
I like to think that boys with twin sisters, like, I don't know, in the way that, like, girl dads, like, I like the idea that they at least, like, think of things a little bit differently.
I mean, I hope so. It seems like they, I don't know how you grow up around Mariah Carey and the people she's around and, like, become a closed mind.
Oh my God! Well, their nanny is a gay guy who Rocky's like the biggest fan of that man's relationship with his husband.
That's
but
sweet.
I want to, while you're here, I
Yes.
do want to talk about. We talked about it a little bit before we went on the air, but, like, I was never a Hillary Duff person. I was we're the perfect age to be Hillary Duff people. I was just like, she was like a girl who lived in an adjacent social circle from me, who I had no issue with, but just, like, I never had contact with. And then, like, This new album has just been injected into my veins, and we talked about it on the podcast. I cannot. Then there was like a reductress headline this week that was like, Hilary Duff releases album exclusively for 37-year-old gay men.
I did see that.
Who can only understand its frequency, and I was like, I think I've been attacked, except understood.
Yeah.
Matt, can we talk about how good her new album is?
I mean, it's great. It is so great. It is confessional. It is like not what you expect from Hilary Duff in 2026.
All of the lyrics, the songs, all of it.
Waiting for Weather for Tennis, I think, is such an incredible new single.
Maybe the highlight.
Maybe the highlight. A great choice to like launch the album with that song. It's just, no, I don't have a negative word to say about it. Like, is she the strongest vocalist in the world? No, but she has a point of view. She has something to say, and she's
the best vocals we've ever gotten from her.
That is true. Yeah. That's true. And I feel like also she's just speaking very honestly about what it's like to be a 37-year-old woman in a long-term relationship who has some family issues. It's like,
are you going to get sick of me? Are you going to get tired of me? What's going to happen next?
Are you going to find someone at your job? And
do you want to fight until dinner time about something stupid? Yeah.
Right. Like, I feel like so often the music industry is, everyone is trying to appear as young as possible. Everyone is trying to relate to the youth, and that is, their prerogative. I wish those people all the best. But for Hilary to come back knowing, like, my audience is going through what I'm going through because they have been with me since we were all kids, why don't I just speak to them? Why don't I speak to the problems that they're more likely to be having? It was a great and unexpected turn. I think that album is wonderful.
And, I mean, also, like, I don't want to give too much credit to her husband because really the authenticity is coming from her.
Yeah.
But this is a man who's like a real musician, and so like if you like, I think she really must be enjoying, like, if you thought I was just like so yesterday and why not, and like even wake up was not my jam.
Come Clean was everything though.
Come Clean is everything.
Is everything.
Is everything. The gay people have spoken.
Yes.
Weather for Tennis, mature roommates, we don't talk. I mean, adult-sized media. She's talking about, she's like, underneath this cherry flavored chapstick are some grayish highlights. Reminded me that nobody runs faster than time. I'm like, girl, baby girl, like, we are living a similar, like, and there's tracks about the holiday party where she's like, my husband's like I love that, like, Hilary Duff isn't too above being like, oh, you're gonna fuck her? I bet you wanna fuck her, huh?
Right.
Real moments of being in your 30s and being like, we got this, but also, you're gonna fucking ruin this, all this. Like, she and her podcast that she's been doing, I've been addicted to because I'm like, oh my God, I want her so bad. Like, she's our age. She's us. And what she's done is say, I'm not going to push that. Like, and again, as I said before, I didn't grow up with Lizzie McGuire.
Right.
I didn't grow up on Hilary Duff. I'm meeting Hilary Duff in our 30s, which is cool because she's like, she's a grown person too, but it's not like I've been like, oh, I've been idolizing you all along. It's more like oh, babe, like it's literally like I met her at the salad place.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's like so many people are going to listen to that album just based off of the nostalgia of it all. And it's like, no, you
must know it's so much more.
It's so much more, like, to you and to me. I was never like, I don't think I listened to a Hilary Duff album in full.
No, because we were more lyrical people, and
but it's like, if it's helpful for you to think of her almost as a new artist, honestly. It's like this.
That's the way to do it.
Almost feels like a debut album. Because it's like she's talking about shit. This has so little to do with her, like, Disney pop past, that it's like a
And it has so much to do with lyrical depth of being in your 30s. Even if, and by the way, like, she has 4 kids and a husband. I don't have any of those things, and I found it extremely relatable.
Yes.
I think that's an interesting thing, too. Yeah. And I do find this with other people our age, which is that you don't need to have the exact same experience to be feeling a lot of the things that we're at the same age, which is like, you know, we talked about it before we went on the air, but I was just like, wow, I love that she is so not. She doesn't get her confidence from her commercial success, which is, I think, a huge part of why this album has been commercially successful.
Yeah.
It goes back to not having reaching energy, which is that she was like, no, I didn't need this to be a big, but it was a big.
Yeah.
And now it did big, huge numbers. Well, how do you feel about, like, because, okay, so Pussycat Dolls also announced their reunion, and there was a very funny moment on the Today Show where Nicole Scherzinger, who she's now made fun of herself, about how they asked, well, why just 3 of you? And she said, well, you know, as women these days, and it's amazing.
One of her bandmates had to step in and give a more legible answer.
And did they?
It made a little more sense. I understood the end of that sentence.
What do you look for a pop star coming back now, Matt Palmer?
For a pop star coming back?
Yeah, like from a Hillary Duff or a Pussycat Dolls. Like, what do you think of all?
I mean, I think Hillary Duff did the right thing going the reinvention route. I think the only options you really have are going reinvention or trying to recapture your previous sound, and maybe that'll find new success. I listened to the new Pussycat Dolls song, and it's certainly more in, you know, option number 2. It sounds like Pussycat Dolls from 2006 or whatever.
In a good way, or
in a good way? It's fun. It's fun. I prefer.
Is it like Don't You?
It reminds me a little bit of Don't You.
I like Don't You.
Don't You's good, but I think I preferred React, which was their 2020 comeback single. Right. Was released right before COVID, you know, when they were first doing this with all 5 members, which is everybody but Melody, who I think is.
And we still don't know why they're not invited back.
I think the other 2 maybe have vocally and outspokenly talked negatively about Nicole and how she was in that group dynamic, because
And Nicole is in charge.
Nicole's in charge. She was the one that kind of put a stop to that tour that was going to happen. I mean, she and COVID together, but she had to take Robin Anton to court and for her percentage of the dolls and all this. So yes, if you're going to go against Nicole, you're going against the group.
Why wasn't she prepared for that answer?
She should have been.
She should.
Because it's like, what do you think?
Would have been.
What do you think they're going to want to ask you?
Okay, so that show probably tapes at 7 a.m. Matt Palmer would have been awake at 2 a.m. with exactly what you
just
because
there's no more obvious question for them to ask you when you are a band that has gone from 6 to 5 to 3. They're going to ask about the lineup change.
You know, it's just that we're women, and
as
this
women
time,
is an iconic
as women
iconic interview
it's
answer.
Just that
as women, and then she also goes so blank. It's like she's looking.
She really does.
Nothing.
Well, it was interesting because it was because it was her big time back, and then total black. You and Matt Steele on 2 Gay Mats. You guys don't like to talk about male artists that much. Apologetically, no. And by the way, you get to say, why would you?
Yeah.
You have talked about Harry Styles' new album.
Yes.
He is one of the few artists that you guys have decided deserves being discussed.
Well, I think this year we're trying to be more open.
It's not about Harry Styles.
It's not about Harry, but I honestly, and I feel like I'm seeing a lot of negative reaction to his album. I actually kind of like it.
The album's great.
It's fun. It's dancey. Yes,
it's the biggest numbers of a male album.
Yeah, and I feel like sometimes there are songs where it's I don't hear every word he's saying, or he's not the vocal's not the center, and maybe some of his lyrics you don't understand what it's about.
His lyrics can be very obtuse.
Yes, they are.
It's and also sometimes his interview questions, I'm like, do you know what you're saying? Zayn, it's as though if you take what you don't know, and then you put what you do know, and you subtract what you don't know. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Right.
But I still have sex with him.
I mean, that I didn't know was up for debate.
Well, yes, and it wasn't. But I'm just saying that, sometimes with his lyrics, I'm like, are you saying something?
Yeah, what are we really talking about? There are songs I truly had to guess what it was about. I was I think this is about how he feels about One Direction, but I'm not positive.
Yeah, and then second season Weight Loss, I'm I heard him talk about it, which was that when you watch a show and then there's everyone goes away and then they come back for a second season, there's everyone's in better shape. And I'm like, oh, so we're gonna pretend that this is about something more than trainers.
But also, like, what does that have to do with the song? Like, I see that's the title.
But here's the scoop.
Yeah.
It's a great song.
It is great. That's one of the better ones.
So, I know, I really like that one.
That's a good one.
So, it's interesting. And also, I hear him talk about, Harry talked about feeling like he needed to perform grief around
Liam's death. Yeah.
And I felt a little bit of that around my dad's death because I felt like when someone dies, everyone sort of wants you to like do this dance. And I could only imagine like if you're in a big boy band, like what that must feel like. I felt it like on a much lesser level, but like just this like do grief for us. And it was really interesting to hear Harry talk about it because he wanted to be tasteful for his friend, but also be like I wanted to be in a way that like feels like normal for him, you know? And so it was interesting to feel like I had a thing in common with Harry Styles because I was like, oh yeah, no, it is this weird thing of like, hey, everybody knows this happened, like perform for us. And it doesn't always go that way, and he shouldn't have been expected to. Yeah. You know?
No, I think, being in that kind of situation, it's a tragedy, especially for like Liam's parents and like his friends that he was very close to. It's just so to go out of your way and like demand someone that has a public connection to him to like, perform grief, like you said, it's not fair. Like these people should all be able to grieve in private and on their own time. Like, let's not ask that of people, whether they're public personas or not.
Can I ask if this album versus? I mean, I think you were very upset because Harry's House won Album of the Year over Beyonce Renaissance, which I have to say, very difficult year at the Grammys because Beyonce Renaissance Part 1 deserved everything.
Yes.
I feel that way strongly.
Yeah.
I thought Harry, it's not like I didn't feel like Harry's House deserved awards. I did. I didn't feel like it was you didn't like it. Okay, so I feel like Harry's House is better than this album.
I will re-listen. I found it was an album. I cannot think of a time I had to try and finish an album so many times. I find it really falls off. I don't love the single. I like the Sushi Restaurant song. And I like
as it was. You're not sold.
I'm not sold on As It Was. There was another song in there, Late Night Talking, I liked. But yeah, I feel like I felt a little bit about this like fine line as well. But I feel like his albums, as they go on, I get less and less interested. Like I don't know if I fully finished the album, but it's like it didn't keep my attention for me. But I did try a couple of times, and then by the time it won Album of the Year, I was just like, oh my, because I feel about Renaissance. Like I am a black gay Beyonce fan. Renaissance is gonna be for me.
No, I will always decide that Renaissance deserves Album of the Year. I don't care what year it happened at. I will say that Harry Styles is not my music taste. Yes. Harry Styles is not a typical Rory person.
Yes.
There aren't a lot of white British men in Rory lore. Let's just start there. Harry's House lives in a nice place in my life, so I can stand by it. But
I like Fine Line. I like that album.
Well, is that the one that has watermelon sugar?
That is the one.
Yeah,
well, of course. That's a good album.
But anyway, Harry's House, I stand by. But for the Grammys that year, Renaissance,
tough time.
How do you feel about she won Album of the Year for Cowboy Carter?
Yes.
How do you feel about that?
Look, I'm glad she won it. Like, is it?
She regardless deserved.
Yes, and it's like it's like my fourth favorite Beyonce album, but it is like an artistic achievement. It is a feat.
Oh, I love this about Matt Palmer.
It's a long one, You know
what? This is why we're politically aligned because you're like, all right. It wasn't this time, but we're gonna get it. Time.
So, like, even if it wasn't self-titled or Lemonade or Renaissance, which
I think Renaissance should have gotten it.
I think Lemonade and Renaissance should have gotten it so bad. Self-titled, honestly, too. And you know how I feel about B-Day? I feel like the world as a whole did not appreciate B-Day enough. But again, this kind of gets us back into one of our biggest fights
that we've ever had entirely.
When we were listening.
We're not. I love Matt Palmer. Like.
Listen.
Even 58 minutes into the podcast, my
Yeah.
partner's like, a fight we had 13 years ago.
But because it's never been resolved, it's like we can never really have the full conversation again. But we were listing, like, prior to probably Lemonade coming out, like
Oh, it
our
was so
favorite
early.
to
It was
least
so
favorite
early.
Beyonce albums, and they were truly upside down from one another,
were
and it
very
was
upset.
very shocking to all involved. So yes, so my feelings for B-Day, I'm positive, are not Rory's feelings for B-Day. But long story short, she has released so much music that I think deserved that album of the year because she's the album artist of our generation. Like she, you know, especially around like 4 and self-titled time, took the idea of like, I'm so sick of these disposable singles and I want to make an album that really tells a story, really paints a picture. And she's been doing that consistently for so long now.
She has.
That like the fact that it took, you know, this many years for her to win that award. Even if it's not my favorite album, I'm happy she has.
Well, my favorite part of Cowboy Carter is the duet with Miley because of how Miley is so topish in it.
I feel like I've heard
And
you say this.
I've spoken about it so many times. But like it feels as though Jay-Z had Becky with the good hair and Beyonce said, "Okay." And then Miley said, "Oh God, what's that in the second verse when she's like, putting in the something about like playing in the wind with her hand, my left hand on you." I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, oh Jesus Christ. Been a while since I ever tried to hold you. And then and Beyonce's like, you're like, what's happening between the two of them? Yeah, put my hand in the wind. It's like you're like, oh, between the two of them, something is going on.
It's also wild because when I saw the track list, it was like featuring Miley Cyrus. What is that going to sound like? And they couldn't sound better. Like the two of those voices coming together, I was like, this makes
Couldn't
so
sound
much
better. I was like, an affair is happening.
I'm just thinking vocally, sonically, and I just didn't think those two voices, I didn't have them together in my head, but maybe, remember they did Stand Up to Cancer together with Mariah.
Which is so hilarious.
With
I know.
Beyonce and her Etta James hair.
Which nobody approved. But listen, you know, Miley being part of that project, I really do. You know, I would love to end it with this because Miley's career has been wild because she's had hits, she's had flops, she's had Disney songs, she's had stuff nobody's cared about. She talks about how she wishes Plastic Hearts didn't come out.
Which is wild, it's her best album. I hate when artists talk shit about their best album.
I know.
Cough, cough, Brandy.
Okay, but what was going to be that?
The title, there are so many hits. The title track, Hate You, Hate Me. Look at that track list, pick a hit. I didn't love Midnight Sky, but that's a great album.
I like any Stevie Nicks moment. But
yes.
The point is that Miley has had a wild career. And by the way, like, I would have loved to have been a child star. Miley has to fend with the fact that she has, everything she's ever done, she has to reflect on.
Yeah, it's on film.
And yes, and I especially love her later stuff because I love Jaded. I love where she's like, I love her stuff from her 30s because she's like, you know what? This is me now. But how interesting that her most recent release, no shade to Miley, big ol' flopperoo. Big old flop. No, but it was. It was. So she can go from huge commercial success to, oh, nobody is checking for that at all. And then I will imagine her next thing will be probably huge.
Hey, her Hannah Montana 20th anniversary thing's coming out in a few days. So,
and I respect her as someone who's close to our age, who's somebody who just keeps fucking clawing at it.
It's like she's not going to stop because of a flop.
And who gave her her first Grammy?
Someone with the same initials, Miss Mariah Carey.
Mariah Carey.
Even though there was a time when Miley said something mean about Mariah Carey, and as soon as they had an introduction, it was like, I remember it. I remember it.
Well, but what I think ended it for Mariah, which is what ended it for me, which is that if I was Mariah and I had accidentally mispronounced the name of the award to Miley Cyrus, to have Miley Cyrus in the award go, in the audience go, Mariah, you! And I'd be like, oh yeah, me, yeah. And then to have her come up on stage and hug me and be like, no, you're gonna be part of my acceptance speech. I would have been like, yeah, no, I don't remember anything bad you said about her.
That's good. It's good to move on. I cannot.
Yeah, I think with Mariah and you, I think I'm a good influence because you guys, if people are talking about us and they're being cool, I say let's hang out with them.
Even if they've said bad things in the past?
Depends on who it is. Eminem, no. Miley Cyrus, yes.
All right.
Tell me who it is.
All right.
I'm such a good influence on you
You're
guys.
such a good
really
influence. You can learn so much from you.
Okay, Matt Palmer. It's at Matt Palmer Music on Instagram and socials.
Yep.
It's at 2GayMats on YouTube. You guys just got your plaque. Come on. If you guys aren't following them, what the heck?
We've ordered the plaque. The plaque has not arrived, but it's on the way. It's en route.
It's deserved because you've hit the mark.
That's true.
And if you guys aren't following them, then you're like, who are you?
Don't get left behind, guys. See you on YouTube at 2GayMats.
At 2GayMats, and until next week, you guys stay super exciting.
Woo!
And